You're listening to SM Media, the #1 place for exclusive content.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Scottish Football Show right here on SM Media. I'm Scott McPike, delighted to be your host as always. Star-studded panel this week. We've got the Auchinleck Talbot captain, Willie Lyle. Willie, pleasure to welcome you onto the show.
Cheers mate, always a pleasure. Looking forward to it. I'm alright, I'm good.
Brilliant.
I'm interested to hear Ben Andy come after drink after the promotion celebration, but that'll all be reviewed.
Brilliant. We're joined by recently promoted Kelty Heart striker Andy Rodgers. Andy, pleasure to welcome you back onto the show.
Glad to be here, pal.
Brilliant. We're going to get some exclusives from you in this show, we hope.
We'll see.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And we're also joined by, from Only As Good As Your Last Game podcast, friend of the show, finally getting you on after months of saying I would get you on, Reegan Stevenson. Reegan, it's a pleasure to welcome you onto the show. Thanks for joining us.
No, Scott. I'm glad to be on the show.
Brilliant. How are you?
I'm doing good, aye.
Brilliant. We're going to get into some football chat, but we'll start off with Kelty Hearts have been promoted to the SPFL after beating Brecon City. Andy Rodgers was there and amongst it. Andy, what was the feeling in the dressing room after that result?
Look, the boys were buzzing. I think going into it, it's probably the first time for a few years that the sort of team for the lower league was under immense pressure.
No.
Because all we had read for weeks and weeks was everybody expected us to win, which is unusual for the team chasing. But look, we didn't mind that. The reason we were expected to win is because we were a group of good players. So it was a bit of relief, but it was good.
Was it a bit bittersweet because of the kind of situation before it, where likes of Brecon not want to play and things like that? Did that kind of go through your minds at any point?
I went through our minds. When we were in lockdown and teams in League One and League Two were playing games and we weren't even allowed to train. So we were doing road runs for about 3 months. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not keen on road runs.
No, definitely no, mate. To be fair, I seen you on that Instagram and all that, and the Facebook saying, "Oh, I'm doing my runs today." I'm like, "Well done, mate. I still like you. Definitely not like you."
I know, but there was maybe a time where we thought we would get the game, but the minute the games kind of got confirmed, when we were back in, we were confident we could go and do the job.
Brilliant. Obviously, Barry Ferguson played a vital part in getting Kelty promoted, and then there was a bombshell. It came out of the blue completely that Barry Ferguson was leaving Kelty. He's been announced today as Alloa Athletic manager. First of all, when did you find out that Barry was leaving?
Late Sunday night, really. Late Sunday night. I think he spoke to the board after the game. And then we found out just after that. So, like yourselves, it was a surprise to us as well. He'd obviously kept his decision sort of to himself. I take it he didn't want it affecting the sort of build up to the games, etc. But as he said in his interviews, he had a remit to get the club into League Two, and he's done that. So he maybe feels it's the right time to move on. Only time will tell. So, but I think everybody in the club, we've already said, they wish him nothing but the best. I think he's left on good terms with the players, with the staff. So no, I just hope he does well and it works out.
What was he like to work with?
He was excellent. Obviously, I've played under a lot of managers, but I've never been somewhere where the intensity of training was so high.
Aye.
I think it's obviously came for his time at playing at a higher level, but the demands were massive. You weren't allowed to take your foot off the gas at any point, and look, the club's got the rewards for it.
Yeah, definitely. Are you surprised where he's went? Like, obviously, Alloa. It was a bit of a surprise, I would say. It was.
I've sort of looked at it both ways, to be honest. I think it'll definitely be a tough League One next season.
Nice.
I presume Alloa expect it to be competing at the top end, but we've got the likes of Falkirk, Queen's Park. I think will have a go Cove, Rangers, Montrose, Airdrie. It's going to be a difficult league. But on the flip side of that, if you look at previous Alloa managers and where they went, I think there's been a good 3 or 4 in the last 10 years who have went on to good jobs after it. So it's obviously a club that are doing things right and giving their managers the support they need, I suppose.
Definitely. Now, you don't need to reveal anything. You obviously, I would like you to, but if you don't have, you can plead the fifth if you want. But there's talk of Kevin Thompson being the kind of board's choice to be the Kelty manager. Have you heard anything? And if you,
to be honest, I've probably heard as much as yourself. All we've been told for the club is that they're speaking to 2 or 3.
Right. They've
not gave us names. They've not given them as a time scale. But obviously, I've seen the media reports the same as everybody else. And what I would say is that I have heard in previous months that some Tom was looking to get into. I think he is looking to get into the sort of management side of it rather than the youth setup at Rangers. Whether it be Kelty, I would imagine he'll be in the game at some point soon. But as I say, for names for us, we've not been sort of told that. It's just a wait and see over the next few days, I would imagine.
Brilliant. Reegan, you want to ask Andy about Kelty Hearts?
I just want to ask, do you think it'll be a big step up to from the lower league, or just how do you see the transition from that? Because obviously you guys have played in the Scottish Cup again, St Johnson. So how do you feel the step up will be for you?
I think, to be honest, as long as we can keep the majority of our squad together, I think we'll be all right. I don't think that the gap between the Lowland League and League Two is as big as it used to be. I think the top 4, 5, 6 teams in the Lowland League could compete comfortably in League Two. So it'll be a case of trying to keep the squad together, and I would be hoping that Kelty would go and have a successful season next year, eh?
You guys got 250 fans into the stadium last week. Did that make such a big difference?
It did, actually. It's as crazy as it sounds, with only being 250. It was massively different to play in front of, because I've played half a season behind closed doors, and it's unbelievable the difference. It just the atmosphere, the game itself seemed a lot higher tempo and sharper, less like a training game. So it made a huge difference.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Willie, what's your thoughts? And obviously Barry Ferguson, going to Alloa. What was your kind of reaction to that?
I don't know. I found it very strange, to be honest. As Andy made out, there's been previous Alloa managers who's went on and improved and get jobs at a higher level and that. But Kelty, I played at Kelty, and it's a great wee setup, and he's just got them promoted, and it's again to get promoted, and then all of a sudden go and take another job. It was surprising. It was very surprising. Didn't see it coming, that's for sure.
Do you think the budget at Alloa is going to be so much higher than it is at Kelty, Andy?
It'd be hard to say. I wouldn't imagine. I think a lot of the League One, League Two budgets are take away, obviously, Falkirk, who are full time.
No,
I don't think there's much difference between a vast majority of them. I can't imagine that would be the only reason. That's for sure. No, I don't know. Maybe it's just the step up a level.
No.
But he just wants to freshen it up. He's been there for almost 3 years now at Kelty, where he just thinks he needs. Honestly, don't know.
And obviously yourself, what's your plan? What's your plans after this summer?
Well, again, just over the next few days, hopefully, see what happens with a manager coming in and take it from there. But as far as the club are concerned, I think they've made it clear that they want to keep the vast majority of the squad together. Again, unbelievably, I still think I've probably got another year or two left, which if you had asked me 5, 6, 7 years ago, I'd thought you were crazy. But no, I'd love to play for another year or two, or take part in a bit of coaching would be nice as well. But I definitely still think I've got a wee bit left.
Brilliant. We'll move on to Rugby Park Monday night, where I don't even know where to begin here. Kilmarnock are down, relegated for the first time since 1994, 2-1 defeat to Dundee, who get promoted Danny Mullen and Lee Ashcroft sealed the promotion for Dundee. Kyle Lafferty got a penalty back, but it was kind of too little too late. Reegan, I'll start with you. Kilmarnock, were you surprised? I know you've been following Kilmarnock a lot this season.
I would just say, Scott, I think the downfall in Kilmarnock from Steve Clarke 2 years ago, finishing third place in the league, to playing absolutely terrible against Dundee. And you could say the Championship side, they probably deserve to win over the 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
Dundee were a way better team. And Charlie Adam, he's going to be a great addition to the Premiership. And also you've got the Dundee derby as well. But I just feel Kilmarnock, they need a big clear out, Scott. Need a big clear out.
It's going to be tough. Obviously, Kilmarnock did come out the traps, but it's been the same thing all season. Just the bad mistakes, and they let Danny Mullins in, Lee Ashcroft in, 2 really, really sloppy goals to concede, and that was it.
I'll be honest with you, Scott. I think of the 2 games, they were terrible. They didn't.
Aye.
I thought after the game on Thursday night, the Canopy's bad, and they were worse if no getting in. I honestly don't know where to start. They were terrible. They didn't look like scoring. The penalties are a bit soft. They've scored with the penalty, which is soft. And apart from that, they hardly created a chance. The one with the Chris Buck at the back post. But apart from that, they've hardly created a chance to fill game. Dundee deserve to go up. And it's a massive rebuilding job at Camara. I think we've been 10 players released already. Mm-hmm. Only 4 under contract. I think there's obviously some been offered new deals. But I think I heard that they're going with the same budget. So, but they still need to get players in.
I don't even know where. I say at the beginning, I don't even know where to start because there's so much wrong. Andy, you're obviously a striker. See, how can you defensive errors like that all season and there's nothing be done about it? Because it is junior. It's not even junior. It's amateur stuff.
Aye, as well. I said the second game they were actually worse than they were in the first game, which was hard to believe was possible. The first 45 minutes of the game at Rugby Park the other night, Dundee could have scored 5 or 6.
Easy.
And I'm not sure if I can't remember what team, but I'm pretty sure I heard earlier the day that Kilmarnock scored the 4th most goals in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Apart from, I think there's only one other team scored more goals than them. How can you end up getting relegated? It tells you how bad defensively you are.
I think they lost the same amount of games as Hamilton.
It's crazy.
I mean, they lost the same amount of games as Hamilton. Hamilton got relegated, so I think that's gonna. You know what I mean,
for a shambles, the 2 games, and Dundee were just miles better.
But you get, as Reegan said there about 2 years ago, there was a team 2 years ago that were hard to beat, 3rd in the league, getting into Europe. How does it? Is it one manager cause that? Does one manager leaving cause that downfall?
No, you can't put it down to one manager. There's got to be a responsibility than that. Like a lot of the boys in that team, it's the same players.
Exactly.
Part the boy Power, the boy Dicker, it's all the same boys who were in that team that were hard to beat, and I don't know what's happened to them. They've completely collapsed.
Alessio was a bad appointment.
Oh, he was.
It was a bad appointment, and they obviously can't. And then they bring back Dyer, who was Steve Clarke's assistant, and that didn't work either. I just think they've waited too long to get Tommy right in. I think the players did start to respond to him, but I think it was just too late.
See, the thing was that since Steve Clarke left Kilmarnock, everybody was saying Tommy Wright should get a job, and they didn't bring Tommy Wright in, and that's cost him, you know.
Aye, it's hard to say. Obviously, do you think Kilmarnock can come straight back up?
If they're keeping the same playing budget, they've got a massive chance because there'll not be a lot of teams in the Championship who can get close to that sort of budget. But again, they've got to start the season well because losing it becomes a habit, and there's good teams in the Championship as well that make it difficult for them. But if, as I say, with that budget, they'd be falling short if they didn't have a chance going back up.
It's hard to say. We'll give a lot of credit to Dundee as well. Obviously, Willie, there's James McPike's done a great job this season, as Reegan mentioned as well. Charlie Adam come in, brilliant addition, obviously a Premier League player. Dundee, do you think they've got a chance they're going to do well next season?
Well, their goal will be obviously to stay in the league.
Aye.
But I think they'll do great. Over the 2 games, I've not seen much of Dundee, to be honest, but over the 2 games against Kilmarnock, I thought they were excellent, to be honest. They really were. They were excellent. Charlie Adam, obviously pulling the strings in Millie Park, still play, you know what I mean? Obviously, they've got American owners or something. I don't know if they maybe throw a wee bit of money at it and get players in and whatnot. We've seen on the thingy with Snodgrass and Lee Griffiths and that when the FaceTime to James McPike after the game and all that. I don't know. Obviously, maybe no Snodgrass, but like Lee Griffiths and players like that. You know what I mean? Have a wee bit of money for the American owners, and you never know. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be all right.
Definitely. Reegan, Kyle Lafferty, obviously, we were saying since he came in, he could be the reason they stay up. I highly doubt he's going to stay after being relegated to the Championship. Where could Kyle Lafferty go next season?
I think he should go to Aberdeen or else maybe Hearts, because see Aberdeen, they would be a great, because they're going to get European football and they're going to be at the top end of the league, fighting for the Scottish Cup and the League Cup. So that would be the obvious choice for me.
Brilliant. Andy, where do you think Kyle Lafferty could go?
He could definitely play Premiership with it. His goals, he almost saved them with his goals. So I agree. Like the likes of Hearts, I know he had a spell at Hearts previously, but he would definitely do a job for somebody in the top flight.
Brilliant. Wally, what are you thinking about Kyle Lafferty?
I'll be honest, I think if he gets the same deal as he's on now, I think he'll stay where he is.
Think so?
I do. I think
so.
So.
He could be the top of the right side?
Well, it's what's best for him and what offers he's got, if you know what I mean. I don't know. Like an Aberdeen, they need a striker, don't they? They struggle for goals this season. I don't think the Hearts thing that. I don't think that's a no-goer. The likes of, I don't know, Dundee just come out. You don't know. You don't know. But I don't know. I think it's offered the same deal. There's every chance he could stay Camara.
Brilliant. We'll move on to some fan questions. First of all, I've got one for Willie. Does the signing of Craig Moore make Darvel favourites in the West?
That's hard to say. Look, Craig Moore's a great signing for Darvel. Let's be honest. He's played the air. He's scored goals for Ayr United, you know, and he's came from that Championship to a level. But does it make them favourites? I don't know. There's loads of teams who have signed players from a higher level when it comes to the juniors. It's no juniors now. It's West of Scotland League or whatever it's called, and struggled. So I wouldn't say it makes them favourites, but look, Darvel are doing the right things. I think they've got a bit of money. They're redoing their pitch. They're bringing players in for a higher level. They'll challenge. They'll be there or thereabouts, but to make them favourites, I wouldn't. I don't know.
And we've got another question from Mark Shankland. Craig Moore or Graham Wilson?
Personally, I thought G all day long. G is a nightmare to play against. Absolute nightmare to play against. We played against the boy Moore and we beat Ayr in the Scottish Cup a couple of years ago. But I don't really know much about him. But Graham Wilson, on his day, is a very good player.
Brilliant. We should just say as well, obviously, we're sending our best wishes to Mark and Alison for the birth of their first child, Murray. I'm sure the boys will echo me in wishing Shankers and Alison all the best.
Absolutely.
All the best, guys. All the best.
I can't believe he's not come on as well. I mean, all he's doing is up to his ends and baby shite and all that. I mean, there's the right come on this.
Desperate for a half hour away from that.
I know.
Brilliant. We're going to, obviously, before we move on to some fan questions, we've gone over our team of the year on Sunday. We're going to reveal all our teams in the year. I've not told you any of the three about this, but I'm going to put you in the spot. You need to come up with your team of the year before the end of the show for the Premiership. All right? Before the end of the show.
As in Scotland?
As in the Scottish Premiership, you need to come up with your team of the year. Reegan, I'm putting you in the spot here as well. All right?
Okay.
Before the end of the show, I want your team of the year. And we'll see if we're going to do it all on Sunday. We're going to put everybody's team of the year out, and we're going to see if we can agree on a team of the year for the SM Media team. Right, this is the one that's been, I feel as if this has been asked for weeks, but where is the Eddie Howe situation at with Celtic? Reegan, I'm going to put this to you. Obviously, this has been going on and on. Me and you have spoke about it a few times. Where is the Eddie Howe situation at, do we think?
Scott, I'm just fed up with it, to be honest. Really, it's going on too long. Eddie Howe is going to be Celtic manager, but you just don't. It's all to do with the backroom team. I hear he wants Mark Butcho in as the main scout as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear that Celtic, they are scared to invest in Richard Hughes. They want Fergal Harkinen as well. So what? Because if Eddie Howe leaves in a couple of years, they don't want to have to start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea Celtic want is they want to employ Fergal Harkin and Richard Hughes both at the same time.
Right,
So,
okay. It's interesting. I've heard the Fergal Harkin stuff, but it's a weird one because obviously there was big talk after Bournemouth and out of the playoffs that this was the Dundee one day. It's no seeming it, and obviously Celtic put out a statement the other day saying they were close to appointing a manager, but so far it's this week nothing's came of it, and there's rumour. It is just rumours at the moment. There's no concrete story to say what's happening here.
Nah, it's dragging on way too long. To be honest, Celtic really need to move as quick as they can, you would think, because their European qualifiers are going to come up in next to no time. They've not got a manager in place to decide. I'm pretty sure there's a good 5 or 6 players who I'm unsure if they want to be there next season that still have to get dealt with. And then if you are losing 4 or 5, then you've still got to bring somebody in to replace them. They're going to end up chasing their tail at the start of the season, and the last thing they need is that they need to hit the ground running, because they're going to have to react for this year because it's been poor. So I'm surprised it's not been done. If Howe was dragging his feet, or if there's problems, if I was a club like Celtic, I'd be moving on to somebody else. But yeah, obviously they see him as worth waiting for, I suppose.
Do you think it's weird though, right, that the day, obviously a lot of managerial appointments have been changed, but the day with Pochettino's near enough going to be a Tottenham manager. Pochettino's at PSG. Do you know what I mean? They've moved fast to get an appointment.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
It can be done.
It can be done. I don't get why it's taking so long. If Eddie Howe's dragging his feet, or there's looking at better offers in England, which all reports says the deal's done. It's just a case of there's kind of wee hiccups along the way. But if you're a Celtic fan, are you worried at how long this is taking? Especially when Andy says the Champions League qualifiers are literally going to be in a month's time.
100%. I said it the last time I was on. You've got loan players going back. You've got players in the last year of contract, is Ayer and Edward and all the rest of them. Last year of contract. You need a manager in to sort that out, to decide whether we sell them, do we keep them, do we can, and then they need to rebuild. It's a massive rebuilding job. And when they manager, as you say, times drags on. I mean, they need to be in Europe as well. If they get knocked out in Europe, as fans got to renew their season tickets when they've not got a manager yet as well. And it's dragging on and dragging on. Seems to be Eddie Howe. Nobody else seems to be mentioned, but they just don't seem to be announcing it.
Do you know that's a weird thing as well? What happens if this does hit a snag? And Celtic have put all their time into Eddie Howe, and they've no back. There's nobody else been mentioned recently about it.
That's it.
What happens if it does hit a snag, or a better offer comes along?
See if this does not happen, Scott. This will be the biggest PR disaster ever, because Celtic have shoot themselves in the foot. They've hold on for too long now, and I think as well, Scott, you can write off the Champions League qualifiers. Because Celtic won't get away with that, because they've still got. I mean, how many players do we think are going to leave? About 10 players.
No.
They still need to bring those players in. So, no, you can write off the Champions League for me.
But I think as well with Eddie Howe, it's a big job, and he's never managed at a big club like that. Bournemouth, he done a great job at Bournemouth, but Bournemouth, the pressure wasn't anywhere near where it's going to be at Celtic Park.
Scott, I totally agree with you, but I think the way that Celtic see it is, he's completely different to what the players were under Neil Lennon. Where he can
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Andy, do you think this will happen?
I think it will. I think it has to, because they've put that much into it. They didn't seem to be looking anywhere else. Obviously, as you say, it's all rumours at this stage, but I just can't see it not happening. I didn't understand why it's taking so long, but I think it will. I think it will.
Definitely, but it's going to be. It's another interesting one. I keep saying we're going to be, whenever there's official news, we'll be reporting on it. But we'll move on to another couple of questions. Who do you see there have been offers for at Ibrox next season, player-wise? Willie, I'll go to you on that one.
Glenn Camara, possibly. He's at a good age. He's been brilliant this season. Glenn Camara. I like the likes of Tavernier, who's just signed a new deal. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Possibly Morelos, but I think they'll keep the majority. I think if anything, I'll be maybe an old fringe player out, but I would say if any, Glenn Camara could be the one that they get a serious bid for.
I'm going to say Alfredo Morelos, because he scored a lot of goals the past couple of years, but when the Rangers done their AGM, they said they needed to balance the books. So I think Alfredo Morelos could bring in maybe 15 to 20 million, do you think?
Oh, easy, aye.
Yeah.
Easily.
So
there's one name I keep thinking about, and I keep thinking with the Euros coming up, he's going to definitely start for Croatia.
Yep.
I think there could be an offer coming for Barisic.
That's what I think.
Especially if it's a good Euros.
If he's a good Euros, I think he'll put his sale in the shop window, because I genuinely think he's 28. But there's very few left backs in that Euros.
And he's as you say, with the age he's probably on his last big move.
Aye.
I think that, but I agree. Camara and Barisic would be the two. But I think it would have to be big money to tempt Rangers. Kent's another one. Obviously, there's been chat to Leeds United and things like that. But again, in the second half of the season, he's put himself probably for 7-8 million up to about a £15 million player, because he turned it up when he needed to. And I think it would need to be big money to tempt them away.
Do you know what I think though is very, very good about Rangers now is they've got those 5 or 6 players that they can sell for big money if they need to. That was been there for a while. Yelovich is the last one.
Definitely.
Have been big money, so that a lot of credit's got to go to Rangers recruitment. Right, this is another one I'm putting you in this. Can we agree on a Scotland starting 11 for the Czech Republic game?
Probably not be able to agree on a back three.
Right, goalkeeper. Is goalkeeper obvious David Marshall?
Aye, for me, aye.
Yeah, Marshall, yeah.
Right.
I think McLaughlin's a better goalie, by the way. But I'll be Marshall.
I agree with you.
Craig Gordon, no chance of starting?
No.
Is Craig Gordon a better goalkeeper than David Marshall?
No.
No.
For me, as
David Marshall's no played in a few months, although he's saved those penalties, but he's not played in a few months for that.
Am I right in saying David Marshall's last game was for Scotland?
Probably, because he wasn't playing at the back end.
He didn't play for Derby for a while. But I think he will play. I think David Marshall will play. I think he will play. Right, back three. Left side, are we going for Tierney?
Tierney, definitely.
Yeah.
Centre of the three. I'm going for, I think Grant Hanley will play.
I think Liam Cooper.
Yeah.
I think Liam Cooper as well, Andy. I would play Liam Cooper. Leeds captain. Liam Cooper. Mid-table, plays every week for Leeds. Premier League, I would play him.
Mm-hmm. I think he'll play Grant Hanley.
I think Grant Hanley, but I quite like Liam Cooper as well. But can you play Liam Cooper on the right?
Nah. I don't think you can. Nah, I think you have to have him central. And I think right will be Gallagher.
You think right will be Gallagher?
I think right will be Gallagher.
I have a strange feeling Jack Henry.
Yep, that's what I was just about to say, Jack Henry, yep. Because he
I
played
think Jack Henry, but I would maybe play Scott McTominay at right centre back.
I think after last night he's going to play in the middle of the park.
He did
the best player on the park last night.
He did great, but because we're no blessed with centre backs.
I know. That's the thing. That's the two worries I've got for Scotland are at the back and up front.
Aye.
And I just keep thinking, is he going to... I wouldn't say if McTominay plays there, then I think he'll do well enough. But I think you're wasting a really good player in the middle of the park.
Sure they are.
I think he's a brilliant.
I'd agree with that, but we've got midfield players as well. That if you know what I mean.
Aye, definitely. Right, midfield. We'll start with right wing back. I would go for Nathan Patterson.
Agreed. I would go for Nathan Patterson. It's a big risk, but I would go in.
I don't think he'll play Nathan Patterson, but I would pick him.
I agree.
And me too, yeah.
I would stick with O'Donnell. Just for the sheer fact, because of Patterson's age, and I know he played the European games, and it'd be different if O'Donnell had been poor for Scotland.
Aye, that's why I think he'll play.
I think in the qualifying campaign, he was a 7 out of 10 every game almost.
Yeah.
So I think he'll stick with O'Donnell.
I think though as well, if you get 5 subs, then you can make that change half an hour ago. Well, I think
100%.
So are we going O'Donnell? Although
I think he'll stick with O'Donnell.
Aye. Left wing backs a stick on.
Aye.
This is playing. Centre, kind of defensive mid. Who's going to play in the hole? Do we think?
McTominay.
I think
McTominay. Yeah.
If McTominay plays centre half, he'll play there.
That's why that's why I think he can, because Ryan Jack would have been the one.
Aye, that's where I think if Ryan Jack was there, he would have played.
If Jack was there, I think McTominay would have played centre half. But I think it's got to be McTominay now.
Yeah, I think.
McTominay for me.
Brilliant. Willie?
I think it will be McTominay, but because I know we'll play him at centre back, so I will go with McTominay.
Left side?
McGinn
and McGregor will be the two in front, I think.
Think McGregor?
No, I think I would play Billy Gilmour. 100%.
Again, whether I would or I wouldn't, I'm not sure, but he'll stick with McGinn and McGregor.
I think so as well. Here's one for you, Stuart Armstrong.
I was going to say Stuart Armstrong.
I think he'll play in behind the striker.
I'll just play one up and play
one up top.
One up.
Possibly.
Armstrong.
I like Stuart Armstrong.
I
would play Stuart Armstrong before I played McGregor or Christie if they play in the middle of the pitch.
I don't think Christie will play.
I don't think Chris. I think Chris is another one like you can bring off the bench.
Aye.
I think that's not. Although I think he's a terrific player, I do think he's been a bit hit and miss this season.
He has,
McGregor, I think McGregor's a terrific player. I would play him. He would probably want to be one of my first names in the team sheet. But again, has he been good enough this season for his club?
No.
He's not been as good, but I just think I just can't see Clark making much changes.
That's what I think as well.
I think he's one of the managers who goes with what he knows. He'll not really. I think. He knows what he's getting off certain players, and even if I'm not maybe performing for the clubs, he knows what he's getting off them, and he can rely on them, and they'll probably play
for the first game, especially.
Aye, definitely.
If it doesn't go well the first game, you might see it make changes, but definitely.
Up front, what are we thinking?
Dykes.
Has to be Jay Evans.
I think it'll be Adams and Dykes.
That's why I think Armstrong plays behind them, because the Southampton link, I think it'll be Armstrong and Adams.
That's a good shout. Southampton
wouldn't surprise me, but I think he's put a lot of faith in Dykes.
Yeah, me too. I say Dykes.
I would say though,
Dykes over Adams.
No, I wouldn't play Dykes over Adams. I think they'll play both.
$1,000,000% he'll not play two strikers.
Do you not think? What in the first game?
No chance.
I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he'll do it at Wembley. I think they need to win the first game.
I just can't see him playing two out strikers. No. He's never done it in any. He's played like a Ryan Fraser off or a Christie off or.
There's one Ryan Fraser or James Forrest maybe off.
Is any of the two of them fit?
No, that's the thing. But I can see Dykes and Adams. I don't know.
I'll go
Armstrong and Adams. Yeah, Armstrong Adams for me.
Reegan, what are we thinking?
I think he'll play James Forrest, and then Dykes up striker.
It's tough because you've got again. I think at Wembley he'll play one up front. I do agree with you. I think they need to win that first game because I honestly think if they don't win that first game, I think the tournament's gone. I'm not saying because that's the game in the group they need to win. It's the first game. It's a team in the group that are probably similar level to Scotland. I think England will beat them.
I think if he plays with Adams, you've got a bit more pace, and then you've also it maybe gives McGinn a wee bit more licence. McGinn and Armstrong to support him. Whereas if you go two strikers, you're asking McGinn to sit a bit quieter, and I think his game's. I think he's better when he's on the front foot. So I think McGinn and Armstrong just behind their striker will be the way he goes.
See, another thing as well, Scott, is that if Scotland win that first game, then all we need to do is get a point in the next two games. Because see if we finish third, do we not qualify as the
Aye. Yeah, fourth best, third side qualify. So if you win that game, I think you're giving yourself a great chance. I mean, I do think England will beat them.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, difficult, eh?
But I think Croatia, that's a great chance to get something because that I know, although they were in the final 3 years ago, the World Cup final, they're not as good as they were.
They're a very aging side.
Aye, they're a very aging side, and I think Scotland have that bit of pace where likes of McGinn, Adams, they've got even Robertson, Tierney. I think you're wasting Kieran Tierney at centre half, but I don't see where else he plays.
If he doesn't play there, where does he play?
Exactly.
I would have said you were wasting him if I hadn't seen the last game. But even he was playing centre half and he was still overlapping Robertson, was still getting crosses into the box. So,
but do you think he's going to do that? Do you think he's going to do that in that big a game? Like, do you think he's going to be allowed to do that?
In the first game, potentially. Potentially.
Right, we'll ask everybody for their predictions for the group. Reegan, do you think Scotland will qualify for the knockout?
I think Scotland will finish second ahead of Croatia. Yep.
Big call.
I do,
Brilliant. Willie?
My heart says we'll finish second in the group, but I can't see it. I think England and Croatia, I think it'll be, but hopefully, if we can win a game, win the first game, take something off England, we're happy. I thought we've got an outside chance. We'll be hard to beat.
No, that's what I
mean. We'll be hard to beat. We'll not take a doing off anybody. Look, you never know. My heart says aye.
Definitely. Andy, what are we thinking?
Aye, pretty similar. I genuinely think if we win the first game, I think we qualify. Whether we qualify second or third, but I think if we win the first game, we qualify for the group because I think there'll be other groups where teams take, as well as his teams take a doing. Teams get beat 3 or 4 off something. I can't see even England taking 3 or 4.
No,
I don't think somebody will run out the top of us. So if we win a game, then it gives you a massive chance of qualifying at the group.
Definitely. Although it's a Scottish football show, we're basically in Euro mode as well. I mean, we're 2 weeks to go till it all kicks off. Who do we think will win the Euros, Reegan?
I'll go Belgium.
I think Belgium or Germany. Wally, who have we got?
I think France. Some of the players have left at home's ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah.
I think France.
I am going France. France for me.
But we're all looking forward to the European Championships. Few more questions. This one I'm going to give to Andy. Malky Mackay, obviously been named the Ross County manager. Does he deserve a second chance?
Absolutely. Look, if everybody that made mistakes in the game never had a second chance, we'd be struggling to have enough bodies to have managers and teams. He's done wrong. What was it, 7-8 years ago?
Yeah.
He's had 3 or 4 jobs since then, whether it be within UEFA, whether it be within the SFA, whether it be at clubs behind the scenes. Look, he was punished for what he'd done. He lost his job. He never got a job for a good few years after it. But look, the guy, by all accounts, is a great coach. And the bottom line is, clubs need good coaches. So, for me, I've not got a problem with it.
I would agree with you. I think we live in a land of second chances. I think he's going to get given a chance. Weird appointment. I'd be surprised to hear about John Hughes leaving. Wally, your old manager, where do you think he'll go?
was a strange one. He got appointed and he's done what he was there today to keep them in the league, and there must be something in the pipeline just to walk away, because he was out the game for a wee while there, wasn't he? Didn't have a job, and he gets this job, does the business, keeps him up, and then walks away. I don't know. Dundee United, maybe. I don't know. That's a possibility.
I think sometimes Yogi's. I think his demands sometimes become unrealistic. I don't know what's went on behind the scenes, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's demanded all sorts for Ross County and they're not keen. I think he sometimes overthinks things and gets too deep. But as you say, there maybe is something else there, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was a disagreement with the board about where he wanted to go and how he wanted to run the club, because he's just he gets a wee bit carried away sometimes.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of credit for how well he done it, Ross County.
Oh, look, there's no denying he can get results. There's absolutely no denying he can get results, and as you say, to keep them up, it was a great achievement, and that's what makes it strange, the decision for him to move. But I don't know. There's obviously a reason somewhere.
Scott, do you not think he'll go to Falkirk, because he's been at Falkirk before? So that's
actually what I was going to say to Andy. I know. I was how though?
Just because I honestly feel like it would be a backward step for the club, gone back to look. Yogi had 5 years as a manager, and he had maybe 3 successful years, but the last 2 years at the club, it was run. And to be fair, no manager's fault. Falkirk as a club itself has been run horrendously for the last few years. I think everybody can see that they're a club who should be minimum top end championship, Premiership minimum, but they're still getting 4,500, 5,000 fans. And in League One, you've got teams like St Johnstone winning 2 cups, an average attendance of about 2,000. It's the way the club has been run, the decision to get rid of the academy, and I just think they need a fresh idea. They need somebody to come in with different ideas, and I don't think Yogi would work.
Obviously, Dave McCartan and Lee Miller were in. I thought they were doing well enough in there. I didn't understand that.
It's the problem Falkirk have got is, or managers who takes the job, is the fans at this stage, their ambitions are unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like Lee Miller and Dave McCracken were top of the league with 5 points. And granted, the team collapsed at the end of the season, but when they were top of the league by 5 points, the Falkirk fans weren't happy. They were saying that they weren't playing well, it wasn't attractive football, games were boring, they were only winning 1-0. They were top of the league by 5 points and they were under pressure. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
But see, I would ask you, do you not think John Hughes would bring some stability back to the club, because he's a proven SPL manager and Falkirk need a bit of stability because they've been in the doldrums of the League One for the past few years?
I don't know. I just think it would be too divisive for Falkirk. It would split the support right down the middle, and I think they need somebody that they can all get behind at this point.
There's big talk of Paul Sheeran. Have you heard that?
I like Paul Sheeran. I think he's a great coach. Everybody I've spoken to loves him as a coach. He's a nice guy, good guy. It's different coaching kids. But as I say, it's maybe somebody with fresh ideas, also with links to Aberdeen, whether they could get a couple of the younger boys that he knows, whether it be on loan or whether it be boys who are leaving. There's bound to be 2 or 3 good players up there that he's worked with. So somebody like that, I think, would be the way they should go. But
yeah, I think that could be a good appointment. Queen's Park's another club that have changed manager. Obviously, Ray McKinnon left a few weeks ago and Laurie Ellis got the job. Wally, we surprised. Obviously, Ray McKinnon left, and then Laurie Ellis was an assistant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was assistant. Who was assistant?
I think it was his assistant at Queen's Park.
He was
coaching at Queen's Park.
Was he?
Yeah.
Coaching.
Is that a surprise? Is that a weird one? That.
It's a bit surprising why he's left. I don't really get that, to be honest. I know Laurie. I think Laurie's a good coach. I played with Laurie at Rafe Rovers for a year. He's a good lad. So obviously he's just took over for there. But I find that strange. I didn't really know the ins and outs of it, but to get promoted and then they got promoted, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get promoted and then just leave it. It's a funny one.
Andy, what's your thoughts on that one? Because I've spoken to a few folk at Queen's Park, and their ambition holds no limits. They want to be Premiership in 2 years.
Aye, no, that's what I'm saying. Their budget will be competitive with top-end Championship teams next season. But I didn't actually know what's happened. That's what I think. The hardest thing is there's no details came out about it. It's
strange.
I don't think it's a resignation, but then it's one of the old mutual consent. It's no, he's not been sacked. He's not resigned. Like why is he left? There's nobody's come out and sort of gave a reason for it, which makes it. And then, as you say, with Laurie taking off him, it makes it even more strange. I don't know. I don't get it.
See when Ray McKinnon left, there was talk of Alan Stubbs. We heard a wee rumour about Derek McInnes. Like that's where I'm not saying Laurie Ellis, by all reports, is a really good coach, but I just thought at the time it was a weird one considering where their ambition is. Like
that's what I thought when Ray's went. I thought they've obviously got somebody lined up. They've got a big name. But as you say, I just don't understand it. I don't really get it.
Definitely. We'll move on to Dundee United. Obviously, Mickey Mellon left as well. All reports has Tam Courts, who's I think he's the head of recruitment there as well. He's been lined up to be the manager. Again, obviously, Andy I think he was managing at Kelty for a good few years, wasn't he?
Yep. Aye. He was at Kelty as a player and then manager. Aye.
What do you think of that? Like, obviously, all reports as another really good coach, but again, an untested manager. It could work out. I like the ambition if it's a plan, but it's again one that's no puzzling, but it's a surprise.
Yeah, it gives boys at a lower level hope. Do you know what I mean? It shows that progression's there. That if you get a job with like a West of Scotland or a Lowland League club, there is a progression. But it's, as you say, it's very surprising. A massive club, and to appoint somebody who's not just managed in the SPFL, they've not managed for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
To throw them into a job like that, it would surprise me. But yeah, I don't know. He's obviously been in about the club. People have seen him, and they maybe think it's the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could work out. I really like the ambition if that's the plan. Wally, what's your thoughts on it?
That's strange. Obviously, I played against him when he would have been at Kelty. What do you call it? I think of it as a head of youth or something. No?
I think he's the head of recruitment academy.
Aye. See, going for that to managing senior pros is totally different. But if it works for them, it's great. I mean, but I don't know. I really don't know much about it. It's a strange one that Mickey Mellon's obviously left. I don't know. Don't understand that either, because I thought they had a decent season. They've done what they set out to achieve, stay in the league and mid table. I mean, he gets sacked or he's left or whatever's happened. But I don't know. That's a strange one. Very strange.
Definitely. Reegan, what's your thoughts on the kind of managerial situations? Were you surprised with a few of the kind of departures and potential appointments?
See, to be honest, Scott, I find it strange that they've put such faith in that appointment at Dundee United, especially when it took them so long to get back up to the top flight. I thought they would maybe appoint somebody with a bit more experience. And maybe going into next season, especially with the Dundee derby back and trying to stabilise the club, I don't know if it's the right move, but I wish the guy all the best.
Yeah, definitely. Andy, see when I'm obviously a manager like Tam Courts maybe goes into a club, is it important that he gets a kind of old head in to kind of assist them?
Aye, I would say so. Not even for the managerial or the coaching side, just for the fact what Willie says is like he's going to have to go in and deal with senior pros who have played at that level, the top level, maybe for 10, 15 years. And as you say, no disrespect to Tam, but he's never played at that level. He's never coached at that level. So you've got to somehow get the respect of them early doors. And it's sometimes easier, as you say, if you've got an experienced big name beside you. But again, as I said, we didn't know what's going on at the club. He maybe has got that respect. The boys, he's maybe been around the training ground every day for the last year or two. We don't know, but so just need to see how it goes if he is appointed.
Definitely. That's our quick fire questions. We're going to move on to our team of the year. We're going to start with Reegan. Reegan, what's your team of the year for the Premiership?
So in goals, I've got Alan McGregor. Centre backs, I'm thinking Connor Goldstein and Hollander. For right back, I've gone Tavernier and Barisic. The midfield, I've gone Glenn Camara and Lewis Ferguson.
Okay.
Wide, I'm going to go with Ryan Kent and Martin Boyle.
Okay.
And then up front, I'm going to go with Morelos.
Brilliant. We'll move on to Willie. Willie, what's your team of the year for the Premiership?
I'll go for McGregor. Right back, Tavernier. Left back, Barisic. Centre backs, Goldstein and Ayer.
Okay.
Wide right, Ryan Kent. Glenn Camara. In the middle with I don't know. Ryan Jack did well till he got injured. I say Ryan Jack. Then up top, I go Edward and Morelos. Wide left, I would go play Roof right and Kent left.
Okay. Are you missing somebody in the midfield?
Absolutely.
100%.
I think you're missing. I think you've made a
player of the year.
Player of the year. One of the players of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, Stevie Davis all day long. Sorry, Stephen Davis. See, Ryan Jack, he's not playing any longer. Stephen Davis. Sorry.
Oh, so did I missed him, I know.
You didn't say Davis?
Stephen Davis has been brilliant. Aye.
No,
Stephen Davis, then Camara.
Brilliant. Andy, what's your team of the year?
McGregor, right back Tavernier, Goldson, Ayer, left back Barisic. I wouldn't go with wide men. I'd go Davis, Camara, Joe Aribo, and Turnbull with Kent and Morelos up top.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's gonna get the big
Oh,
one. We're gonna go through all our teams of the year. We've got Reegan, Andy's, and Willie's. We're gonna get a few more before Sunday, and we're gonna do a big team of the year for our whole channel. But that'll do us for this week's episode of the Scottish Football Show. I just want to thank Reegan, Andy, and Willie for joining us in the show. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Cheers, mate.
Brilliant. No problem.
Andy, brilliant as always.
No problem, mate.
Best of luck with Kelty as well. You need to keep us updated in the new manager hunt.
Absolutely.
Reegan, thanks very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I think he's gone.
He's frozen, I think.
But thanks very much for watching, everyone. We'll be back on Sunday with our final episode of the season. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.